Alright, I'm going to look at a bit more group data and frequency tables, and then looking at how to find the mean, median and mode of these different values. It does get a bit more complicated when you can't find those specific numbers, and you need to work with these frequency tables. So if you have a look here below, we've got the measurements of leaves between certain lengths. So we've seen these tables before. 2 leaves were between 25 and 29 millimeters, 4 leaves were between 30 and 34, etc. Just be careful of some of this terminology. So the frequency is often represented as Fi, midpoint is represented by Xi, and this weird symbol here is the sum of, so the sum of all those values, and this is, you'll see what that means in a second, and this just means the mean. So again, looks kind of complicated, but it's not as bad as you might think. To find the midpoint, so 27, it's just simply the midpoint of 25 to 29. Same with 32 being the midpoint of 30 and 34. We then just multiply the frequency, so in this case 2 times 27, which gives us 54. We do that for each of these values across here. This again means the sum, so the sum of all the frequencies is 40. The sum of all these values is 1824, and we can use our equation for finding the mean here, which is basically the sum of frequency times midpoint divided by the number of items, whatever it is. So in this case it was 40 leaves, but yeah, the frequency, and that gives us 45.6. So the mean here would be 45.6. To find the mode, we find the frequency and then add 1 and then divide by 2. So in this case the frequency was 40, we divide that by 2, which gives us 20.5, as you can see here, and we count down until we find the 20.5 position through the frequencies. So we take up 2 here, so that's, we've gone through 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 7 is 13. And then 13 plus 10 is 23. That's a bit confusing, but basically the middle value is located somewhere between 40 and 44 millimeters. So we would just say that the middle value is between 40 and 44. So we just count down through those frequencies until we get to the position of 20.5. And then we just list that frequency. Alright, let's have a look at an exercise here. So the table below shows the length of 50 pieces of wire used in a physics lab. Blah, blah, blah. So midpoints, we're going to say this is going to be 28. It's hard to fit this in. This will be 33, then 38, 43, and then 48. And I'm just going to do these all quickly. What I'm now going to do is multiply my frequency by my midpoint. So I'm going to times these two values. So in this case, 4 times 28 is 112. So I didn't waste your time. I've just filled in all those values there. Again, I'm just multiplying the frequency by the midpoint, and then this value is the sum of all of those values here. So I've just added those together. So to find the mean, we would do our sum, 1960, divided by the total frequencies, which is 50. And on our calculator, that is going to give us 39.2. So that's the mean length of wire. The modal class, I forgot to mention this before, is just the class with the most frequencies in it. So the modal class here would be 41 to 45. And to find the median, we just do the number of frequencies plus 1 divided by 2, which gives us 51 over 2, which is 25.5. And let's try and work out where that is. So just going down through these frequencies, 4 plus 10 is 14. 14 plus 12 is 26. And so we've just surpassed that point there. So somewhere here, very close to where we get to the 12th frequency, it's in here somewhere is the median. So we'd say the median is 36 to 40. We can't find a specific value for that, but that is the kind of median class, I guess, if you want to think of it like that. So I know it's all a bit different to finding it with individual values, but that's how to find the mean, median class, and the modal class of these frequency tables. And again, yeah, you need to do a couple of calculations there as well. You'll pretty much always have your calculator for this stuff because the numbers often get quite large and difficult to work with. So have a go at the following questions for that lesson, but I think that's nearly everything for this topic, so well done.